Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Jeremy Adrian here. Welcome back to the channel. It's MMO discussion day, and there's two things to talk about: Marvel Heroes shutting down, and Master X Master MXM shutting down as well. So let's start with Marvel Heroes. I mean, that's the big one for me because I've been on the periphery of that game for quite some time. I recently put out this poll asking you guys to vote on what's the next MMO I'm going to review, and Marvel Heroes is actually on that list, but it looks like I probably won't get to review that now because it's shutting down. So that's really unfortunate. But yeah, that's the pretty big one because from I write for an MMO news site, and I see a lot of the news surrounding Marvel Heroes and stuff, and I always thought that it was healthy in a way, because a lot of people, at least the ones I talked to, found the game enjoyable. There was a lot of positive stuff, but I think this calendar year hasn't really been great for the developers of Marvel Heroes, which is Gazillion Entertainment. So this calendar year, in terms of updates, there hasn't really been many updates, that is. And even the Halloween event, which was supposed to go live, didn't go live, so they missed that. And that's when I think players started realizing something's wrong here. Developers were being really quiet on updates and stuff. Not to mention they had a little, they made some mistakes early on. Again, with this thing called the biggest update ever, which was like an update before their console launch, which was Marvel Heroes Omega. So this whole biggest update ever thing kind of ruined a lot of the, mechanics, gameplay, and stuff for the existing PC player base. And what's worse was they weren't truthful about some of the decisions that they were making to the PC players with regards to the console port. But the PC player base were smart enough to figure out what was going on, so they fully expected a console port, and then it did happen. So the good thing was console players got to play Marvel Heroes. The bad news was the PC players, had to suffer from whatever the gameplay changes were. So that really didn't help their scorecard. And then there's this rumors going around about the CEO of Gazillion Entertainment, about him being a pedophile and other harassment stuff that's just floating around there. So there's multiple reasons going around of why Marvel Heroes is shutting down. I mean, with the latter that I just brought up about the CEO, I can understand if that is indeed a valid reason. Then Marvel, and for that fact Disney, wouldn't want someone like that in charge of one of their games or whatever. So that could be a reason. But if you talk to PC players for Marvel Heroes, and I have, they would tell you that issues go way further back than that. Gameplay decisions, dwindling player base, and a whole bunch of stuff. So Gazillion Entertainment has come out officially on their Facebook for Marvel Heroes with an announcement of when exactly the servers are going to be cut off and when the plug's going to be pulled, and it's on the 31st of December this year. So it's the last day of the year. And thinking about it, I still have some time to check it out. I don't know. I may just jump in and get a feel for the game, just try and enjoy it before it goes, because I am a Marvel fan. So it kind of sucks that we're losing the only Marvel MMO that I know of. That's gonna be gone forever. So that sucks. The other thing that kind of sucks is that console players, Marvel Heroes Omega only arrived on consoles a few months back. So to be fair, it's still pretty new on the consoles, and console players some of them have bought a lot of these microtransaction hero packs that Marvel Hero has. So for example, you could buy like the Avengers packs, you'll get all the Avengers with unique Avengers skins or whatever for your heroes. There's the Guardians of the Galaxy pack and all these packs that you can buy. So console players have been buying these, and some really recently too. So in that official Facebook announcement post, I saw a lot of people, angry about that, saying, hey, shit, I bought some packs like a couple of weeks ago, and now you're closing down. Am I gonna get refunds? So that's like the main thing for console players. Well, shit, game's gonna die. Well, boohoo, too bad. But I spent money on packs. So am I ever gonna get a refund? And to be honest, at this point, I don't think Gazillion is going to offer any refunds, because it's just too late. And I'm not trying to defend Gazillion here. I just think it's really, really too late for them to offer refunds whatsoever. So That really, really kind of sucks. I feel bad for console players or even PC players. Those of you who recently bought packs, that kind of sucks. And when Marvel announced that it was closing last week, it was shutting down last week, microtransactions were still being allowed. So real money purchases were still allowed on the very same week that they announced they were closing down. So that kind of sucks. I think they're going to be removing it really, really soon. So if you happen to watch this and you don't know anything about this, do not buy anything because the game is shutting down. So yeah, overall pretty doomy, gloomy. But as a Marvel fan, I think there's some hope, in a sense that now Marvel and Disney can sit down and talk about how they can start a dynasty of Marvel games. Because for as long as I can remember, when it came to superhero games, I think DC has the better of it. They've got DC Universe Online, which is a pretty fun MMO, I have to say. It's got a great combat system, in-depth superhero creator or whatever. And all the non-MMO games, they just have so many that's great. Whereas for Marvel, I can't really think of something that sticks out except Marvel Heroes. So I think this is a great opportunity for Marvel to start fresh with a brand new Marvel game. And because I'm biased towards MMO, that's what I do here on my channel, I'd love to see a new Marvel MMO. Preferably MMORPG and not in the style that Marvel Heroes is. I mean, I know Marvel Heroes, people like it for the gameplay because it's ARPG style hack and slash and everything. I would rather see them go the MMORPG way, where you can, in third person, you can create your own superhero with an in-depth character customization and everything, superpowers. And I'm not saying directly just copy DCUO. I think both, if Marvel would create their own MMOs, I think both can coexist at the same time. Because with DC and DC Universe Online, the setting takes place. You've got places like Gotham and Metropolis that are fictional, but when it comes to Marvel, their entire stories takes place in our world, alternate reality, whatever. But it's our world. It's New York. It's Hell's Kitchen. So I would like to see a game in that setting, but offering more than we've ever seen before from a superhero MMORPG. Preferably something that can tie into like the MCU and the MTU. Like ideally, whenever a new Marvel movie comes out, or if there's something on the Netflix series, or even Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and ABC, if something happens there in the storyline, then that could be reflected in the MMORPG. It's almost impossible to think of it now. I don't think it can ever be created that way, simply because of the development time and how long it takes to create an MMO. And the whole thing about tying a TV show to a game, we've already seen it in Defiance a few years ago, and that really didn't turn out well to my memory. So, but that's what I would want, but I don't think I'll get it. So let's just wait and see what Marvel does with a brand new game. And for those of you that are Marvel Heroes players, I would love to hear your thoughts about the entire situation about Marvel Heroes shutting down. What's the real reason for it? I mean, if there's any inside scoop that you have, feel free to share it with us. I mean, it's MMO discussion. It's all about opinions and thoughts and everything. So leave all that in the comment section below. I will love to read it tomorrow morning over a cup of coffee. And now we move on to Master X Master shutting down. See, MXM is a hybrid MOBA type game by NCSoft, and I actually covered that on my channel earlier this year when I got a CBT invite, or it was in an open beta, I can't remember. I just jumped in, and what I found was a game that had potential to be pretty fun. I had a lot of fun. So NCSoft, with their idea for MXM was, they wanted to challenge the status quo in terms of the existing MOBAs, and they wanted to create a MOBA style game that was fun. It had a single player as well as the competitive aspects that we've already come to expect from MOBA games. The unique factor that they had was all their champions, as you would call them in a MOBA game, heroes, champions, whatever you want to call them, they all come from various different NCSoft games. So you had Blade and Soul characters in there, you had Wildstar characters in there, you even had Guild Wars 2 characters in there. and that was sort of like their pulling factor. So their core audience was players who played other NCSoft games. And I think, one that was, they kind of shot themselves in the foot there, because first and foremost, I don't think that's enough. Just targeting that audience, your own players from your other games, that's just not good enough. And I've spoken to a lot of people who know nothing about MXM until they saw the news that it was shutting down. So that points to poor marketing, poor PR, just didn't do enough to get the word out there about Master X Master. And then again, if you were to do a grand campaign for Master X Master, if you're a neutral who's never played an NCSoft game before, you'd come in and see all these heroes and stuff. Oh, okay, cool. So they're from other NCSoft games. But that doesn't mean a damn thing to me, because I don't play them, so I have no attachment to these heroes or whatsoever. I'd rather just play like a neutral MOBA that has neutral heroes that have their own stories, and I could just find something that I can, relate to and just play that instead. So that, unfortunate for NCSoft. And then another reason, possibly, and this comes from my colleague who was an NCSoft fan, no longer, was because of City of Heroes. Funny enough, it's another superhero MMO, former superhero MMO. So City of Heroes got shut down a few years back, and a lot of people were upset about that, because apparently City of Heroes was a very beloved game. A lot of people had so much fun in City of Heroes, and then it got shut down. And it's related to NCSoft. NCSoft had the City of Heroes IP, but they didn't want to do anything with it. The fans who loved the game so much, they said, why don't you move on the IP to another developer or another studio that could give the game a second shot, or remake it, or re-release it, or whatever. And NCSoft refused to do anything with it. They just held on to the City of Heroes IP and, I don't know, just wasted it. So when Master X Master launched, remember what I said about the game having characters or playable heroes from all their games? They went and put in this character called the Statesman, who apparently is pretty popular in City of Heroes, as an attempt to try and lure former City of Heroes players to try out Master X Master. So a lot of NCSoft players who are City of Heroes fans saw that as like a slap in the face. I mean, not only you shut down that MMO that people loved, but then you got the cheek to put a favorite character from that game into MXM, and then charge for it. Like, the Statesman wasn't a free hero. I think you had to buy it either with the in-game currency that you earn for playing games, or you had to pay real money for him. So that didn't sit too well with a lot of former City of Heroes players. So they were like, screw it, not gonna care about any NCSoft games anymore. Definitely not gonna care about MXM. So my colleague was saying a lot of players avoided MXM because of that, because they were just doing nonsense like that. So that's one reason why people think it's shutting down. From their official press release, all they had to say was just business decision. It's simple as that. They had to shut down for financial reasons, because they weren't competing with the established MOBAs out there. And you believe that, because how could you? Dota 2, League of Legends, what else is out there? I mean, I'm not familiar with MOBAs. That's the one thing I do not play, or I stay away from, consciously stay away from. So, but to create a new MOBA and to try and pull people in from the already established games like Dota 2 and League of Legends is incredibly hard. It's hard unless your game offers something so unique and so fun that people will start talking about it and sharing it, and it just becomes a sensation like PUBG. Then there's absolutely no chance in hell that you come out and announce, I'm gonna challenge Dota 2 and LOL. There's just no way. I mean, I don't think so. So that's why that game's shutting down. And as for my experience in MXM, Like I said, I did have fun because, when compared to me playing Dota 2, the whole clicking thing, I just couldn't get into it. But with MXM, the gameplay I found fun because you move your character with the WASD and then you use your mouse to aim and shoot and stuff. That kind of gave me some hope, of being a decent MOBA player. I also liked that single player story thing that they had, but it was gradually created and you go level by level. The PvP mode, the 3v3, I found really, really fun, but it's not the kind of game that I would jump into personally on my own time. So maybe that's it too. A lot of people just played it casually and never really want to spend the money because, like I said, I mean, for me at least, if I had the money, I'd probably just buy Ritlock from Guild Wars 2 and Mondo Zax from Wildstar, because those are the only two characters that I know. I don't play Blade and Soul. I've never played other NCSoft games as well. So those characters mean nothing to me. So my loyalty is to like Wildstar and Guild Wars 2. So I guess a lot of people just waited until the free rotation brought up their favorite heroes and they just picked them instead of just buying characters. So that's that. I don't know if there's any MXM players here on my channel because I know 90% of you guys are like MMORPG players like myself. So, but if the chance is that you are an MXM player, feel free to share your thoughts about MXM, NCSoft, or if you've played City of Heroes in the past and you've heard about MXM using the Statesman to lure players in, share your thoughts on that as well. I love to hear it. So that's it for this MMO discussion. Pretty gloom and doom, but hey, MMOs shutting down is, it's part of the industry that we're in. Let's hope these some of the developers here, find new projects to work on or get jobs or whatever, because it always sucks when stuff like this happens. I've been in that situation before, so yeah, good luck to the folks at Gazillion and, well, NCSoft. They've got so many other games anyway, so they can just move their staff to one of their projects. So that's it for me. Share your thoughts in the comments section below, and if you enjoy my content, feel free to hit the like button, hit the dislike button if you didn't, and subscribe to the channel for more MMORPG videos, reviews, discussions, all that good stuff. And I'll see you guys at the next video. Once again, I'm Adrian, and I thank you for watching. This is going to be like the last time I take part in a Movember no-shave thing. I mean, facial hair just does not suit me. It just does not. I mean, even when I was working, when I had a corporate job, I was told to have facial hair because it adds a couple more years to me. So when I talk to clients, they're like, "Oh, this guy, he sounds intelligent, but he looks a little young." So that was the thing I got. People not disrespected me at work, but people didn't take me seriously at work, especially clients, older clients, because they look at me and it's like, "Oh, he looks too young." So my manager at the time was like, grow some facial hair, maybe they'll take you seriously, and that didn't happen either. So and what doesn't help is that facial hair actually makes me, I don't know, I just don't like the look of it. So man, I'm trying to get this thing to connect. It's just not happening for some reason. And I got this little rat tail down here, and my mustache just looks all over the place. And there's like this barren spot here, which just annoys me so much. It's like it just does not connect. I don't even know why this whole thing started. I'm just gonna cut now. This is not gonna make it to the video. Hey, welcome to the end screen. If you've made it this far, it means you've watched the entire video, and I thank you very much for that. If you want to watch more videos, you can click on the cards at the bottom here. Anyone will do. And if you like my content, you can subscribe to the channel by hitting the big round button down here. See you guys at the next video.